All right. Video there to end the governor's news conference froze there at the end, so we'll go ahead and start the 6 o'clock newscast. You might have heard the governor toward the end there give a shout out to Eastern Kentucky. He told me something similar when I interviewed him last week. Praised the work of Eastern Kentuckians to keep the spread of this virus to a minimum. Many counties across Eastern Kentucky still have very few cases, especially compared to some of the counties in central and western Kentucky. Well, in the past 2 days, Kentucky has confirmed 246 new cases of COVID-19. That puts Kentucky's total at 6,677. The governor today said a 10-year-old is on a ventilator in intensive care with a COVID-related illness. And he paused for a moment of silence for that young person. 7 more Kentuckians have died from the virus. That total is now 311. Governor Beshear says as of today, more than 2,300 people have recovered. A time of uncertainty. By now you have surely heard that term used more than once, but for some it is more than that. COVID-19 and the circumstances behind it are creating a time for those in recovery to relapse. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
It is important to remember one thing about people in recovery.
They're not bad people. They are sick people who need help.
Matt Brown is the Senior Vice President of Administration at Addiction Recovery Care and says COVID-19 has created a perfect storm for people to relapse.
Social distancing by its nature is the opposite of connection, right? You know, it's pushing people into their homes.
A key to the recovery process is connecting. So when AA meetings are shuttered, the doors to churches no longer opened, and those feeling most alone in this world turned away, problems, once under control, start to reverse.
Even those of us that have years of sobriety are being taken away from everything that they've used to stay sober up until this point. And it's a really dangerous storm that people are finding themselves stuck in for a lot longer than they probably thought they were going to have to deal with it.
Kayla Parsons is the Deputy Chief of Staff at ARC. She has a front row view of this pandemic and its impact on those in recovery.
I know for me personally, it's worse than I anticipated.
From Massachusetts and Pennsylvania to Ohio and Kentucky, the importance of showing support to those in recovery is key.
Reach out to people. You don't have to stay isolated just because we're not getting together in groups.
Lending a helping hand to those who need it most. Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
ARC has launched a mobile help initiative called ARC Anywhere, allowing those in recovery to connect remotely to all the services they offer. Tough news on the job front tonight in eastern Kentucky. We are learning of a mass layoff in Floyd County. Red Hawk Mining issued a warn notice for 182 employees. They attribute the idling of mines to a decrease in customer orders during this pandemic. The layoff is expected to take place as early as Thursday. Several operations are impacted. We hope to have a full list soon on WYMT.com. Car dealerships are among the businesses allowed to reopen to in-person business today in Kentucky. Most are sanitizing the inside of cars frequently. Many dealerships added protective glass to desks and will no longer send employees on test drives. And some say even when all the restrictions are lifted, they will likely continue some of these practices for even longer. As Governor Beshear ramps up COVID-19 testing, Corbin is preparing for Kroger's drive-through testing site. Testing starts tomorrow and goes through Thursday. Governor Beshear says they have the capability to test more than 400 per day. WYMT's Emily Bennett has more on that.
Governor Beshear hopes that more than 1,200 people will come through this drive-through testing site at the Corbin Arena tomorrow through Thursday. There has been testing in the Tri-County area, but mostly through a physician's order, meaning only those with symptoms have been tested. This testing site through Kroger will allow anyone to be tested, but you cannot just drive up. Those wanting to be tested will have to set up an appointment online or over the phone. Now, you do not have to live in Corbin to be tested. Governor Beshear says they are looking for people to come within a 100-mile radius. The Kroger testing is self-administered. The test is free of charge, but you will have to have a form of ID. The test results come back within 24 to 48 hours.
They want to really get a feel for how widespread it is in the community. We really don't know right now, so without any kind of data, unless we all kind of come on board and do our part, it's going to be very difficult to really know where we are on the spectrum.
Mayor Rasmus says there are about 150,000 people in the Tri-County area, but says so far there are only about 50 confirmed cases. In Corbin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
More tests will also be available beginning this week at Pikeville Medical Center. They now have the ability to test 500 people each week. That nearly doubles their original plan. Every day, the partnership with PMC and the Pike County Health Department will provide up to 125 tests. The Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg announced today they've canceled the summer season of Billie Jean Osborne's Kentucky Opry. However, they do plan to have the Kentucky Opry Junior Pros Rock Show on September 5th, as well as a special 30th anniversary reunion weekend with 2 full shows on September 18th and 19th. With the end of the spring semester, some students are eager to get back into the classroom, not only for fall classes, but summer classes as well. Hazard Community and Technical College will begin summer classes starting June 1st, with some being offered in person. The president of Hazard Community and Technical College, Dr. Jennifer Linden, is also happy to announce students may now sign up for aid from the CARES Act, and that option could put some minds at ease.
Everyone's individual situation is a little bit different. Everyone may have different needs. But it will definitely be on a first come, first served basis. So I encourage students to go and take a look at that as soon as possible, because there's some additional documentations and things that you have to attach with the application. It might take some time to get that.
Students will also make up lab hours from the spring semester. To find the CARES Act application and to register for summer and fall classes, you can find that link on our website, WYMT.com. To some other tough news today. Early this morning, a deadly fire in Knox County sent 2 people to the hospital and killed 1 person, a teenager. This happened in a section of Corbin. Today, WYMT's Connor James stopped by the home and talked with troopers about what happened.
It's here along Cedar Bluff Lane where a seemingly quiet neighborhood is even more somber.
Days like today is tough on first responders, and as soon as you get done with your shift, it just makes you want to go home and just hold your kids just a little bit tighter today.
Caution tape and smoke remind passerbys of what happened here Monday morning. This is where a fire broke out, spreading through this double-wide trailer. Inside this home lived 3 people.
What we do know is the teenager that lived here was in custody of his aunt. The boyfriend also lived at this residence.
That teenager never made it out. We don't know much about the family other than the boy was only 16 years old. Neighbors say the 3 didn't live here long, but now this is all that's left of that home. The aunt and boyfriend were taken to the hospital where they're expected to be okay. The caution tape remains here as this investigation continues.
Yeah, it's very typical anytime that there's a death involved with a structure fire that we contact our arson investigators. They come out, they assist us with the investigation. That's a very standard procedure.
Trooper Jacobs, a father himself, says these calls are the ones that hit close to home.
Again, it's just a very sad day here in Knox County, and it's a very sad day as a parent or a guardian.
In Knox County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
The boy's body was sent to Frankfurt for an autopsy. His name has not been released. Federal prosecutors will seek the death penalty against a Whitley County man accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend. Investigators say Daniel Nance shot and killed 29-year-old Jerry Johnson in March of 2019. She was 7 months pregnant at the time. The baby was delivered but later died. Prosecutors say Nance killed Johnson to keep her from talking to police about his efforts to sell meth. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports no one has been sentenced to death in federal court in Kentucky since capital punishment was reinstated in 1988. A Clay County grand jury will decide whether or not to indict a man for murder. Police believe in early March, Jeremy Smith assaulted Russell Knuckles at a home. Knuckles later died from his injuries. Smith also faces a tampering with evidence charge. Court officials tell us we should learn if Smith is indicted by early July.
Continue as we head into the next couple of days. I'll tell you when to expect that warm-up coming up.
But first, as the state begins to reopen slowly, more trails open at a national park in the Cumberland Valley. We'll take you there for a look.